Do this shit until they murder me.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another Black Desert video. My name is Xenozach and we will continue today's video with Beginner's Guide 4.2. This one will be a follow-up to Beginner Guide 4.0 series simply because this one will include what I wanted to discuss in the previous 4.1 video, the second part being building a small worker empire. Now, if you've never heard the term of worker empire, in Black Desert you can actually hire workers to do some of the normal gathering from nodes that you've invested in and connected to your city. And what that will do is then gather the resources that they gather will automatically be placed into your storage, which is why some of my storage in most of my towns is pretty much filled to the brim with nothing but items that my workers have managed to gather. First off, let's go over what some of the things you're going to need. Some of the things you're going to automatically need from this, I keep trying to turn around, will be the contribution points. Contribution points, again, like I explained in Beginning Guide 3, I believe it was 3, you can get from doing daily questing, or if you're doing the normal story, you get some contribution points. However you acquire contribution experience is up to you. Simply complete quests and you will increase in contribution XP, increase in points, and the higher you go. Some of the nodes I recommend you do is the farms that are around Velia, because they do gather up quite a bit of stuff that you're going to need and have very successful uses from the marketplace if you choose not to continue life skilling. However, if you're going to invest into these nodes, I recommend you do some of them as well, or have an alternate character that you specifically have life skills on that character. Like I do, my shy character is mostly for life skills. Anyway, before I keep diving off topic here, Logia Farm, the Bartali Farm, and the Finto Farm. I have the Forest of Plunder because you can also use this to gain some lumber. You can use some for mining and lumbering. This one does gathering. There's quite a bit different, and you can see that if the node is right there, if it has a chance to connect to a different node. Specific nodes you'll need to connect over to some cities, so you can use workers from a different city. Heidel and Belly are close. Because the nodes are connected, I could use workers from here all the way and send them to Velia to do some of the gathering that I need or work done in that specific node. It looks like all my farms up here actually have all the workers done. If you wanted to see, let's see if it'll show one. Currently trying to find one. Here we go. So currently I had my workers repeat a process. If you want to know when a worker is on that, you can see that they show a little icon above it showing that a worker is currently doing a project at that farm and gathering the resource that you had it specific. Now, in order to invest into the nodes, you're going to need the required amount of contribution points for that node, and then the contribution experience an additional contribution points for the selected resource that you want them to do for production. In this case, for Logia Farm, it required me 2 contribution points to invest into that node, and 1 additional contribution points for potato farming specifically, because that's what I want my worker to do. Every town you go to has 1 free worker that automatically comes there. And if you want to hire additional workers, what you're going to need is space for those workers. Simply go, enter into the city, and you can use the menu to purchase houses, or you can brush over. And what you're going to do, like this, you can see that when you click on a house, to purchase any house in Black Desert, it requires contribution points. You'll see that each house will have its own utility set of workshops that it has and purposes that can be used for, such as storage, refinery, wood workbench, or residence. You can have up to 3 residencies in game, meaning 3 places that you want to use specifically for, cooking, resting, so on and so forth. Wood workbench, you can have your workers will do crafting of boxes for you so you can use to sell to the trade manager. The refinery that you can use to gain lower leveled blackstones, and storage. Most of the time, most people invest into storage. When you invest into the storage function for a house, it increases the amount of storage space that you have in your town. Simply put, that one is storage, so it adds an additional 3 spaces onto my city. You can see the total on the top is 39 out of 40. That purpose for that house is just storage. Doesn't mean you can enter the house. It's just marked the house as an extra storage. Let's see. I know I have one, again, additional one. There are levels for houses. Now, to purchase a house, it requires contribution points. Let's say I wanted to purchase this house. Check purchasing conditions. It has all the purposes. It requires me to use required contribution points to purchase the houses that I want, which it will purchase both of these, which will require three contribution points. And then out of my total 9 that I have left currently. And then if you wanted to upgrade or change the purpose of that house, it actually requires, let's see if I can find it. If it has additional stars, that can tell you what level you can take that house. It actually requires silver to upgrade the house from 1 to 2 in that case. For the purposes of a worker empire, you need lodging. Lodging, simply put, will increase the amount of spaces that your house has, and that increases the amount of workers that you can hire. Again, every town you have comes with 1 worker automatically for free. It does not require lodging. Simply put, it's there. You can connect any node and you'll be able to send that worker automatically to that node, and he'll be able to start working if you've already done the previous purchasing for that node and so on. You basically want to, depending on how much workers you want in that town, increase the number of lodging spaces. Currently with this, I can hire 2 workers, and you can see that I have pretty much 6 workers from here, I think it is. I don't think it's 1 plus 2, if I remember right. It should just go for the amount. Now, after you purchase the lodging for your houses, I bought the Velia 1 series of houses, upgraded them all for lodging. You can see it had 2 plus 2s and a plus tier, 2 tier 2 upgrades and 1 tier 1. Upgrade them, have an additional 5 workers. Now you've already succeeded in getting enough lodging for your workers, so you're going to want to come and purchase workers. In the towns, you'll be able to come up to the work supervisor, simply talk to him, and there's a couple ways you can do this. You can spend energy. You can spend energy, automatically hire a worker. If you're like me and if you do not have the space or the lodging for the workers, it will automatically tell you, please acquire additional lodging for workers in order to hire them. If you want to do a worker exchange, you can exchange a worker that you currently have or purchase one off the market. You would basically be able to register your worker to then go onto the... You can purchase one off the marketplace as someone is leveled up and placed on there. You can register the one that you have there. And there are different levels to your workers as well. You can see I've had a skill humans, which is not... I think it still applies the same as your life skills. There's naive... I know naive, skilled, professional, guru, or not guru, artisan workers. It just depends, and sometimes you'll even see that you get a market notification for a worker who's been placed onto the worker market. It's different from the central market. You can't purchase them off of there. You hire your worker, and you can then send that worker to the node that you connect. In order to actually connect the node, you actually have to go. So we'll use Logia Farm as an example. In order for me to actually go there and invest into it and connect it to my city, I have to go to that node and talk to them in person. The other way to do this is simple. If you have a, where's this item? Here we go. If you have a value pack, what the value pack will do is automatically expand your slots by 16 for every character and for your storage, but you can do distant node investment, meaning you can spend 10 energy to invest into the node from far away, meaning even though I was in there, if I wanted to invest into, let's say, no matter what my location is, if I wanted to invest into this node, in order for me to invest into it, you would need to visit the node manager. If I had the value pack, I could do it from afar. It would cost me 10 energy, and the node would automatically connect. But, so in order to go there, you need to go talk to the node manager for that town, and this is one of the reasons I highly recommended people, as soon as they see a node manager for that area, defogs, but it also means that you can invest into them. Talk to the node manager, invest your contribution points, select what you want. Again, I recommend potato farming. It's one of the more popular items for use for beer crafting. And then, boom, you should have a gold line going from that town to that node that you have connected. You can see I have, again, some of the ones connected all the way out, going all the way out to the ocean. That means that node is connected. You can now send a worker. So let's see what exactly this means. If you want to have your worker, you've already done all the steps previously. You've acquired your node, you've connected it to your city, and you have the specific production management that you want. You have your lodging. Simply go up to manage work at that node, and you can do this at any place. If you have multiple choices, like if you had the specialties and the potato, you would simply go over onto the menu for the right side with detailed information. Right bumper over, it would tell you, do you want to do potato farming or whatever that specialty is. It can be, I know, chicken feeding. Let's see if I can do this one. Bartoli farm was the one? Yeah. So it would automatically come with right bumper, left bumper, potato farming, or meat farming. And you do not have to be at the node to do this. You can do this from the world map. Simply go to the node that you have connected, go to manage work, and we want potato farm. Now, it will actually designate how close that worker is to your city, depending on where you are. You can see that I have workers everywhere. If I have a worker that's currently working, it'll show to the bottom of the menu. Meaning those workers are here. These are the only work they have left. I have them repeating the process quite a bit of times. The maximum times you can have them repeated is 50,000, but for this we're going to have the worker from here. You can have the setting for repeated. I only want them to repeat it once. Click on that worker specifically. You can set the amount of repeated once. You can have it 50, or you can have it 1. I'm just going to do 1 for this video so I can show it. Confirm, and X. Start the potato farm task. Meaning that worker there should now be on the bottom of the menu. You see, there he is right here. He is working on gathering potato, and it gives you a estimated work time, the distance he is from the town, what his work speed is, what his movement, or how fast he'll actually get the work done, and it gives you a percentage in luck, meaning while that worker is doing that, he has a chance to gain you extra resources, or he has a chance to complete the task slightly faster. Now, we're going to bring up the worker menu, left trigger and up this right here is your worker list. Now you can see that every worker you have will start out from level 1. Some of them, if you're lucky, if you purchase one off the market, or if you discover a worker, they can come at a higher level and they will unlock special skills. Every worker has different unique skills. You can have human workers, goblin workers, and giant workers, I believe, are the only ones. I don't know if there's any other ones. These are as far as I've gotten. You can see they have just normal giants, skilled giants. And again, I think the highest grade worker you can have is artisan, if I'm correct. I'm not too sure. I don't remember the exact different levels or tiers of your worker. However, if you wanted to promote your worker, let's say I have a worker in Velia, we can go to the promotion lists. You see that this worker here is maxed. He has a possible chance of going up to the next promotion step. So we're going to take that worker, we're going to promote him. The promotion test is held for a day. During the test, other workers cannot take the test. If the worker passes, the level, skill, stats, and will be reset. Do you want that worker to take the next skill? Now, this means that all the skills that worker has learned will automatically go back down to 0, but he'll be a higher tier. So he could go from human to the next level. Skilled. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure of the different levels of workers that you can have. Again, I probably should have looked at that a little bit more, but you get the gist of it. And you can promote them depending if they've leveled. You see him right here. He's failed all his promotion levels, but you can reset you can reset it to see if you can get it back. It all depends. If you get lucky, the higher tiers, professional giant worker, stuff like that, it can all go up if you're lucky enough. So I think that's all when it comes to workers. Again, make sure you acquire the lodging for your worker first. You get one lodging for one free worker without lodging requirements. Without lodging requirements at the I'm surprised someone's walking out there with that. Oop. Towns are very laggy, unfortunately, right now. They've been trying to do updates to it, but it still does the same. Anyway, so going over what we talked about, the steps is simple. You want to acquire your worker lodging. Simply go to the world map, click on that city, hit enter, purchase, check to see the houses. The different houses have different options. If you want, you can go to purchase house, clicking the menu up top. You can set the goal. You just want specifically lodging, whatever you want that house to be able to do, it should pop up. All houses have the abilities for storage. There's different levels of storage. It goes all the way up to +5 currently. You can look at houses that you own, the usage of that house, or unpurchased homes. So it can filter through. All of it just depends on what you're looking for. Acquire the lodging for the workers. Go to the workshop supervisor. They're not going to be in the same place, but for starting off, I would acquire the farms around Velia, as they're pretty popular. Make sure you have the lodging for it. Simply go there, go to the node that you want that worker to work, send that worker to the node, have them do the task, as I did. You do not have to be at that node to have the worker go there. I can send any worker from wherever I am on the map. Just make sure you're safe and not getting targeted by people. Have the worker go there and do that task. After that's done, you just sit back, relax, and you should get notifications of when that worker has completed one cycle of the task. It'll tell you what resources you've gotten, and it will always send it. If your worker is from Velia, whatever resources he gathers will automatically put into the belly of storage. If he's from idle, he'll go to the high. It'll go to the high storage, so on and so forth. So you can see that I have quite a bit of stuff already gathered, but the main one being potatoes that I use for beer, which is crafted in beer grain soup vinegar. This is probably one of the easiest cooking recipes that we'll go over later on, but this is what you're going to need to. Beer is pretty much the common item you use to recover worker stamina. The workers will pretty much work, they lose stamina over time. You simply go to the worker list and you can recover them by feeding them beer. In this case, it'll consume 8 times to recover 16 points. Simply confirm, use out all 8 of my items, but they're fully restored and they continue working. If your workers ever run out of stamina, you're going to want to acquire beer. Again, we'll talk about that later on when we can actually go into the residence. I'll switch up characters to be able to show you in that video some of the cooking recipes and that you can do. But for now, let's see, where is beer? Oh, consumables, food. There's 2 types of beers that you can use. There's a couple things you can use to recover that. You can use cool draft beer or beer. I think I passed beer, did I not? Did I not pass beer? Anyway, cool draft beer will recover +3. Regular beer, there it is, will recover +2. Beer is one of the simpler recipes that you can use. If you want to know the recipe for beer, and I'll show you again later on when we cook. Anything you want to cook or craft can be found in the crafting notes. We can go over to food, which is in cooking. Right trigger over to beer, and although it says wheat, it's supposed to be grains, any kind of material with grains. So I think it's, I know I have this item pulled up here, but I normally look up the recipes online on the Video Codex for PC. Simply put, all you need is grains or cereals, wheat, barley, potato, sweet potato, or corn can be used. You need 5 of those, 6 mineral waters, 2 leaving agents, and 1 sugar. I do not know why it says purified water as a requirement. You do not have to use purified water. Simply have the other 4 requirements filled and you should be fine. Potato is pretty much the more common item. I'll show you that when we go and actually go into my residence and can actually show you the cooking being done. But I have to do that on my life skill character, which will be for my shy, and that will be again in a later video. But hopefully these 2 guides, 4.1 and 4.2, have helped you in understanding some of the more difficult and intermediate things that you're going to need to learn, such as enhancement. And this is an intermediate, I would say, because worker nodes and stuff like that is kind of, again, not directed towards people that want to just do the story, but want to, expand on their life skills and get to know more than just killing monsters and acquiring gear. So hopefully this video was at least able to help you, and you guys all enjoyed it. I know I rambled on for quite long enough, and I will see you all in the next video. Have a good time, everyone. Bye-bye.